It's happening. The moment the entire NBA world has been whispering about, debating on talk shows, screenshotting on social media, and calling impossible is closer than anyone thought. And today, the basketball universe has been hit with what might be the biggest shock of the decade. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, champion, and one of the most dominant forces the sport has ever seen, has reportedly made his final call on a move that could reshape the entire structure of the NBA. And the Golden State Warriors? They aren't just casually in the mix. They have officially tabled a historic, once-in-a-generation mega offer, the kind of offer that can change a franchise overnight. The type of offer that forces even a superstar like Giannis to pause, breathe, and rethink everything he thought he knew. Because when the Warriors want something, especially in an era where Stephen Curry is in the final chapters of his legendary career, they go all in. And this time, they've gone further than anyone expected. But before we dig into Giannis's final decision and why this became one of the most nerve-shattering 48 hours in Warriors history, let's rewind and understand how we got here, because none of this happened overnight. Inside the Warriors front office, things have been boiling for months. Golden State knows their dynasty, the same dynasty that dominated the 2010s, rewrote NBA history, and changed basketball forever, is dangerously close to ending. Not because Curry has slowed down, not because the franchise has lost ambition, but because they simply don't have enough firepower to stand beside Steph as he pushes for one last championship before the clock runs out. And that is why Warriors ownership has quietly been crafting a plan. Not a rebuild. Not a reset. No, a resurrection. A reawakening of the Warriors dynasty on a scale nobody expected. And in that plan, one name has been highlighted, circled, underlined, and targeted above all others. Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek freak. The physical cheat code who bends the league to his will. Golden State has dreamed of pairing Steph's shooting gravity with Giannis's unstoppable force for years. Because if you put them together, you don't create a contender. You create chaos. You create a supernova that the league simply would not be equipped to handle. And according to sources close to league circles, the Warriors presented Giannis with something no other team dared to offer: the idea of forming the most impossible superstar duo in modern basketball. A duo that would make defensive schemes meaningless. A duo that would break spacing rules. A duo that would generate the kind of global attention the league hasn't seen since the LeBron-Wade-Bosh Miami era. Except this would be bigger. That's why the Warriors' mega offer was not a normal package. We're talking about an all-time swing. Multiple core pieces. Picks for years. Young talent. Money flexibility. All centered on one objective: bring Giannis to the Bay and reignite the dynasty. But here's the twist: nobody expected. Giannis didn't reject it immediately. He listened. He sat with it. He considered it seriously. Because Giannis has always been about legacy. He's always been about loyalty, competitiveness, and chasing greatness. And as Milwaukee continues to struggle with consistency, internal gaps, and the constant pressure of keeping a superstar satisfied, Giannis has started asking himself the same question every legendary player faces at least once: where can I win the next championship? And with who? The Warriors made a compelling argument. They didn't just pitch him basketball. They pitched him immortality. They painted a picture of Giannis standing alongside the greatest shooter in NBA history. They showed him film of how the Warriors' system motion offense, screens, backdoor cuts, spacing, unselfishness would unlock angles in his game that even he hasn't tapped into. They told him he wouldn't have to carry 45 minutes of offensive weight every night. They told him he'd extend his prime. They told him he'd win now and keep winning. But the biggest selling point? Steph Curry himself. Steph reached out. They spoke. And insiders say Curry didn't beg, didn't plead, didn't persuade. He simply told Giannis the truth: you joining us changes everything. For you, for us, for the league. And Giannis respected that. So the basketball world waited, Milwaukee waited, Warriors fans waited, NBA analysts waited, and social media exploded with theories until finally, today, Giannis delivered his final answer. But guess what? His answer wasn't simple. It wasn't a yes or no. It was a message. A direct, powerful message that shook both franchises to their core. Giannis's final call reportedly came down to one thing: he wants to win championships, not one, not two, but multiple. And he made it crystal clear to both sides that any decision he makes going forward must bring him closer to that reality. For Milwaukee, this was both comforting and terrifying. Comforting because it means Giannis isn't simply walking away. Terrifying because it forces them to make huge moves of their own, something they've struggled to do consistently. But for the Warriors, it was something else. Something deeper. Something bigger. Because Giannis's message meant the Warriors weren't out of the race. In fact, they were very much still alive. Reports now say the Warriors' front office is internally buzzing because Giannis didn't close the door. He left it cracked open. He left room. That alone is historic. It means Golden State's mega offer wasn't dismissed. It means the Warriors have entered a conversation only a handful of teams in NBA history have ever been invited into, the conversation of landing a megastar at the height of his powers. And the Warriors know this window is small. They know Curry is in his late career push, still elite, still dominant, but needing true superstar help. They know Draymond is aging. They know Klay's future is uncertain. And they know Jonathan Kuminga, as talented as he is, cannot carry this team by himself into a new era. So Golden State is pushing chips, flipping the table, and refusing to fade quietly into the night. They want to go out swinging. They want to go out rewriting history one last time. And adding Giannis wouldn't just rewrite history, it would shatter every record book and expectation in front of it. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn, because Warriors insiders are saying this mega offer wasn't their only move. Behind closed doors, they've reportedly prepared two more versions of a Giannis trade package. One aggressive. One insane. The aggressive package includes their best young pieces, future picks, and immediate win-now support. The insane one? It's the type of deal that forces an entire franchise to rebuild instantly. A package that would signal Golden State has officially entered the all-in zone, willing to sacrifice every future asset in exchange for one final run. Because the Warriors know that if they land Giannis, they become instant title favorites, not contenders, not threats, but favorites. Every major sportsbook would flip. Every analyst would jump. Every team in the league would panic. Imagine it. Steph Curry running off screens, defenders terrified to switch because Giannis is waiting with a runway. Giannis grabbing rebounds, igniting fast breaks while Curry, the greatest shooter alive, sprints to the corner. Draymond directing traffic like a general. The Warriors' system rebuilding itself in real time. It would be basketball chaos. The kind of chaos that breaks eras. And the league knows it. Executives fear it. Players are watching closely. Even opposing stars are asking their agents whether they should prepare for a completely different Western Conference landscape. But here's the final, most shocking twist of this entire saga. Giannis's camp has hinted privately that if his current team cannot guarantee competitiveness within the next year, not 3, not 5, he is open to a seismic change. That timeline matches perfectly with the Warriors' plan. And Golden State knows this is their last, best shot to add a generational superstar before entering the unknown future. This isn't rumor season. This isn't clickbait. This is chess. The Warriors are playing for legacy. Giannis is playing for greatness. And both sides have something the other desperately wants. So what happens next? The Warriors continue to refine their mega offer. They explore every angle, every contract scenario, every path to making this dream real. Giannis continues to evaluate his next chapter, and every whisper suggests he wants more rings and is willing to consider options he never even imagined 5 years ago. And the NBA? The NBA is holding its breath. Because if the Warriors pull this off, we won't just be talking about the biggest move of the season. We won't be talking about the biggest move of the decade. We'll be talking about one of the biggest moves in the entire history of the league. This story isn't finished. In fact, it's just beginning.